It's been 40 years since Toyota first introduced the 4Runner SUV, and now they're ready to celebrate. What's up, folks? I'm Dave Undercoffler, editor-in-chief of Autolist.com, a sister company to CarGurus. Back in 1983, Toyota took its popular truck at the time, added a roll bar and some rear seats, and voila, the first generation of 4Runner was born. Many of those models are still on the road today, and I should know, I actually own a first generation 4Runner built in 1988, and we use it every day. So to celebrate that first generation, Toyota has launched this for 2023. It's a 40th anniversary special edition. So let's go show you what makes this version special and why the 4Runner has been popular all of these years. But before we do, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you can get alerts on all of our future updates. Okay, first thing to know about this special version of the 4Runner is that Toyota is only going to make 4,040 of them. Get it? 40-40. Now that may sound like a lot, but keep in mind, Toyota sells over 100,000 4Runners every year. So this is really just less than 4% of sales. So if you do want one of these, you should probably act fast. All right, let's take a quick walk around and I'll show you what's unique about this 40th anniversary edition. A couple things to note. For one, this is based on the SR5 premium model of the 4Runner. So basically you get all of those amenities plus some extra goodies for this anniversary version. For one, you've got bronze trim on the Toyota lettering here. You've got this retro stripe on the front grille that then extends down the side of the vehicle. Moving to the side, this roof rack is blacked out on the 40th anniversary versions. You also have these great wheels. I love these. These are 17-inch alloy wheels. They're a TRD design, but they're bronzed out, and I really like the way they look. Finally, at the back, you've got the same bronze trim on the Toyota logo and the 4Runner lettering, and a small 40th anniversary badge. One thing to note is that this edition only comes in 3 colors. This metallic black you see here, a metallic red, and a white. And all of those do have the side stripes. Otherwise, this is just the 4Runner that you know and love today, and I gotta point out my favorite feature of this. This has been around since that first generation back in 1983, this sliding rear window. It's a great feature, adds some really nice functionality to the truck, and don't worry, you can still open the tailgate. All right, let's take a look under the hood. And for better or worse, this special edition uses the same powertrain that Toyota has been using in the 4Runner since 2010. Now, the engine is great. This is a 4-liter V6, makes 270 horsepower and 278 pound-feet of torque, but the transmission is really where it's starting to show its age. This is a 5-speed automatic transmission. Some of this truck's competitors, like the Ford Bronco, has a 10-speed automatic, so you really do feel this vehicle's age when you're driving it. We'll get into more details later in the driving impressions. Fuel economy for both 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive 4Runners is rated at 16 miles per gallon in the city, 19 on the highway, and 17 combined. And one more thing to note, this 40th anniversary edition only comes in 4-wheel drive. All right, question time. This 2023 model is probably the last model year that this generation of 4Runner will be available. An all-new version is expected to be right around the corner. So what do you guys think Toyota is going to do? Are they going to keep a V6? Will they go to a hybrid setup or maybe even a turbocharged 4? And what do you guys prefer? Let us know in the comments below. Turning to the inside, there are a few small touches that this 40th anniversary edition has, but they're not major upgrades. Let me show you some of them. You've got a badge on the dashboard that says 1 of 4,040. That's how many they're going to make of this special version. You also have special embroidered floor mats. You've got the embossed headrests on the front passenger and driver seats. And you also have this bronze contrast stitching throughout the entire cabin. You see it on the seats here, on the center console, and on the shift knob. Otherwise, this 4Runner is just an SR5 premium with the features that comes with that. So that includes these heated fake leather seats. I've got a heated steering wheel, nice large moonroof up top. And finally, you've got this 8-inch color touchscreen infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And this is another area where the 4Runner is really starting to show its age. This setup is antiquated. It does have navigation, but the maps themselves are really low resolution considering what else you can get in this segment today. And then the user interface for both the maps and just the system as a whole, again, very old, doesn't work nearly as well as most other competitors on the market. So just something to consider if you do have your heart set on this generation of 4Runner. In terms of connectivity, there are some, but they're not great. You have one USB-A, that's sort of the old school USB connector here on the dashboard, and then you have a pair of 12-volt outlets, one here on the dashboard and then another in the center console. In terms of rear seat space, there's certainly plenty of it in the 4Runner. I'm 6'1". I've got this seat adjusted to where I would have it, so I'm essentially sitting behind myself. And as you can see, lots of room for my legs, my knees, my feet, and headroom is good, and that's including the fact that we've got a sunroof here. In terms of rear seat amenities, well, for one, the seats themselves are actually pretty comfortable back here. Sometimes the rear seats in vehicles like this get short shrift, not so in this 4Runner. You also have a pair of USB-C charge ports down below. That's nice. Above those, you've got air vents here to keep the passengers back here comfortable. And finally, a nice wide armrest for both passengers. All right, let's take a look at some of the functionality back here. For one, these seat backs are split 40-20-40. So if you've got skis or a snowboard or something long, you can fold down this centerpiece and allow them to pass through while still having space for passengers. That's kind of cool. And then another thing is that these seats themselves actually recline in case you want to take a nap. That's kind of handy. And if you want to fold everything out of the way, it's a bit of a process. You start by getting the seat cushion out of the way and then the seat back. You got to do the headrest. And voila, it's finally flat. Now this is another area where the 4Runner is starting to show its age because a lot of SUV competitors just have a single lever to pull and everything folds down all at once. Turning to the cargo area, this 4Runner has about 47 cubic feet of space with the rear seats up. If you do fold those, it adds up to about 90 cubic feet of space. In addition to that, you also have some cubbies throughout the cabin. That's kind of handy. And you've got a 120 volt and a 12 volt plug for anything you need to plug in back here. Generally, the 4Runner is a 5-passenger, 2-row SUV, but you can get certain models with a 3rd row of seats back here. But keep in mind, the space is pretty tight, so it's probably best to use those seats just for kids. Finally, the tailgate on our test model isn't power operated, so you've got to use good old-fashioned muscle to close it, but it does have a pair of speakers in it for some extra fun during tailgating. So when it comes to driving impressions, that's another area that the 4Runner is starting to show its age. The engine itself is fine. 270 horsepower is more than enough, very smooth, capable engine, but it's the transmission that gets in the way. 5 speeds is not a lot of speeds. It means that if I need any passing power, I've really got to push down and there's a weight for it to really accelerate and then grab that next gear. Modern cars today have up to 10 speeds. It's much easier to find that passing power, so that's pretty frustrating. Other elements about the 4Runner where it is showing its age are things like the steering, really kind of vague, not a lot of feel from the steering feedback. The brakes themselves are pretty mushy, and then there's a bit of body roll as well. So all in all, it adds up to not quite the most modern experience for this 4Runner. But it's not all bad when it comes to driving the 4Runner on road. For one, the cabin is very quiet. There's not a lot of road noise or wind noise that comes in. And as I mentioned with the rear seats, these front seats are plenty comfortable, so that's nice. Should you find the need to go off the beaten path in your 4Runner, this truck absolutely has you covered. One thing that really struck me in the time that I was able to take this truck off-road was just how solid it feels on terrain that looks really rough to the naked eye. This truck makes easy work of that kind of terrain and barely breaks a sweat. Helping it get the job done is a part-time shift-on-the-fly 4-wheel drive system, plus an active traction control system called A-Track. What's more is our test model doesn't even have aggressive off-road tires. These are tires you would be driving on the street every day, and yet it still is that capable when you take it into the dirt. When it comes to competitors, this 4Runner usually goes up against other off-road capable SUVs. So that includes Ford's new Bronco, the Jeep Wrangler, maybe the Jeep Grand Cherokee as well. In terms of off-road capabilities, I would put this up against any one of those. It certainly can handle itself in almost any situation you'll find yourself off-road, so that's nice to have as peace of mind. When it comes to on-road, like most of those other competitors, there are some sacrifices to this 4Runner. The Wrangler and the Bronco are nice because a lot of those models you can take off the roof or the doors come off, so you have some modularity there that you don't have on this 4Runner. In terms of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, that's probably going to beat this 4Runner in terms of daily drivability and comfort, and then it also has some off-road tricks up its sleeve. This 4Runner is going to appeal to people who want an SUV they can drive on a daily basis that also gives them the peace of mind of really great off-road capabilities should they need it. Mix in with that some legendary reliability, and you've got a recipe for success. So if all of that sounds good, you should consider the pricing on this 4Runner 40th Anniversary Edition. As I mentioned, it's based on the SR5 Premium, but then on top of that, this version is another $4,500. So figure about $48,000, including destination, for the model we're testing today. That's pretty expensive for what this is, so keep that in mind if you are shopping. When it comes to safety, Toyota has you covered. All 4Runner models for 2023 come with Toyota Safety Sense P. That includes pre-collision braking with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert, automatic high beams, and radar cruise control. There's also blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alerts. All right, folks, there you have it, our review of the 2023 Toyota 4Runner 40th Anniversary Edition. Pros? Well, the 4Runner has legendary off-road capabilities and reliability, plus it's nice and comfortable inside, and there's a limited production run of this special edition. Cons? Well, the 4Runner is really starting to show its age, particularly with that 5-speed automatic and that antiquated infotainment system we showed you inside. It's also expensive for what it is, $48,000 as you see it here. And finally, this 40th anniversary edition, for all the money you're spending on it, isn't much more than just an appearance package. So for reviews or listings of this 4Runner or anything else you're shopping for, be sure to check out CarGurus.com. And before you go, like and subscribe to this channel so you can get alerts on all of our future updates. We'll see you out there.